Taiwan. I'm Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taipei has slammed China's cuts to tariff relief on some Taiwan exports, accusing Beijing of politicizing trade.
显见政治目的大于经济目的，实属经济胁迫。
Taiwanese officials say Beijing is putting economic pressure on Taiwan to influence the country's January elections. China last week announced the results of an investigation into Taiwanese restrictions on Chinese imports, calling the curbs trade barriers. Beijing's latest tariffs are retaliation for Taiwan's trade policy. These moves follow an investigation China launched in late October into Taiwanese tech giant Foxconn. The company's founder is Terry Guo, who was then running for president as an independent. To find out more about the implications of China's recent pressure campaign on Taiwan, Sally Jensen spoke to Chen Fangyu, an assistant professor of political science at Soochow University.
China's decided to suspend its tariff reductions on some imports from Taiwan. What impact will this have on Taiwan ahead of elections?
We only see they remove the tariff cap for about 12 items, which is much fewer than expected. And China not only used this kind of approach to Taiwan, but also for many other countries. So our government has already prepared for that. However, I think the main goal of China is to make this as one of the propaganda approach to make establish an atmosphere that Taiwan is depending on China, or we should echo what China wants us to say. So that is their main goal. So they want to establish such an image of on Taiwan's voters. However, I still think that it will be a limited effect because China's economy is in very bad condition right now. So their influence is much lower than several years ago.
So you mentioned economic coercion, which is what Taiwan's premier just called Beijing's move. Do you think this is part of wider efforts to pressure Taiwan and influence the vote?
Indeed. China is using several different approaches to influence Taiwan's elections. That is, they want to make sure that the outcome is in favor of Beijing. So firstly, they use a lot of military coercion, that we see a lot of fighter jets and warships sailing around Taiwan, and it's becoming more and more frequent. And also we see a lot of economic coercions in recent years. So they will ban some of the Taiwanese products, especially the agricultural products.
Do you think we'll be seeing more of these kinds of economic or political moves by Beijing, not just before, but after the election as well?
That is for sure. Even if the election elected one pro-China politicians to become our new president, even if such a case scenario, we will see China pushing for more pressure, because if there's a pro-China leaders in Taiwan, then for Xi Jinping, his pressure will become larger, because under such a circumstances, if Xi Jinping cannot push for unification, then he will be blamed of a failure of the Taiwan policies.
That was Sally Jensen talking to Chen Fangyu, assistant professor at Soochow University. 3 submarine crew members from Taiwan's Navy have been washed overboard and are still missing. They were among 6 people hit by a rogue wave while loading equipment in waters off Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. The other 3 have already been rescued. Navy Command has formed an emergency response team to find the last missing sailors. At least 15 people have died in the Czech Republic in the country's worst ever mass shooting event. Several others were hurt in the attack at Charles University in Prague. Police say the shooter was a student at the university, and his body was found near the scene. The Czech government has declared a day of mourning, and university students are holding a vigil for the victims. Hamas and Israel are engaged in serious truce talks, even as intense bombing continues in the Gaza Strip. Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza, responded to the attacks with a fresh round of rocket strikes on Tel Aviv. Israeli defenses intercepted the missiles. Egypt is facilitating talks between the two sides, though Hamas says there would be no talk about prisoners or exchange deals unless Israel stops attacking. Around 20,000 Palestinians have been killed since the war began in October. A UN-backed report warns that the over 2 million people left in Gaza are facing crisis levels of hunger. The United States is launching an investigation into Chinese semiconductors. The Commerce Department will survey more than 100 companies in January to see how they're using Chinese-made chips. A report finds that Chinese chips are cheaper than US-made ones because of government subsidies. US officials say they're concerned these cheap chips could make it harder for US companies to compete in the semiconductor market. The world of crypto has been riddled with high-profile scams. Taiwan was one of the biggest losers last year when the major cryptocurrency exchange FTX collapsed. But as Joyce Tsang reports, some investors here haven't yet folded despite losing almost everything.
Crypto trader Laura Liu is still recovering from the biggest loss of her career. She's the founder of a media and PR agency built around crypto and the tech behind it, blockchain. Her business came crashing down last November when her most important client, FTX, once the second largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, collapsed.
现在公司没钱了，我们要解散了。那有跟我们 team member 就是说，嘿，我们就休息，我们就至少我真的想要 stop 一阵子。
Liu is just one of almost 30,000 people in Taiwan hurt by the FTX crash, which wiped billions of US dollars in digital assets around the world. Losses in Taiwan totaled around $500 million, making it the fifth most affected country, excluding tax havens. Crypto traders like Liu know it's a risky business, but for many, the potential gains are too attractive. Essentially, crypto works like stocks. People buy the digital currency hoping it will go up in price so that they can then sell it for a profit. But unlike traditional stocks, crypto trading is all virtual and runs on what's known as blockchain technology. Blockchain boosters say the tech decentralizes systems and skirts bureaucratic delays. Here, instead of a bank keeping track of transactions, people pay directly with virtual cryptocurrencies, which are publicly recorded on a so-called digital block. These transactions can't be erased, and when new ones come in, they're added on to form a chain. All users get the same running chain of information, which gives transactions its validity.
The problem is that many people think that they can make a quick money out of it and run away with it. There's no intermediary running after you or regulation. That is the power of crypto. That itself is a problem with the crypto.
Despite damages to crypto's reputation and Taiwan's own big loss in the FTX scam, some developers have chosen to stick with the underlying tech. Thousands of local and foreign entrepreneurs recently flocked to Taipei, specifically to promote blockchain and its potential.
Yeah, I think our ultimate goal is to bring Taiwan on the international stage for blockchain innovation and technologies. Taiwan is actually a very high-volume trading country, even though people don't know about it. There's so much more besides cryptocurrency that is blockchain.
But developers say regulation is needed, and governments, including Taiwan's, are grappling with how to limit bad actors in the space. That's also something Liu hopes for. She hasn't given up on crypto and is restarting her business from scratch, but this time with more caution.
这件事情让我开始思考，假设如果之后真的 crypto 不见了，或是 blockchain 不见了，那我应该要去哪里？
Despite knowing how costly the risks, Liu is still betting on crypto, hoping what she's learned will make what she now builds in the virtual space harder to knock down. Andy Xue, Chris Ma, and Joyce Tsen for TaiwanPlus.
Sending a message to smokers in Taiwan, an activist in the northeastern county of Yilan is picking up cigarette butts to do her bit for the environment. Irene Lin has the story.
Picking up one cigarette butt at a time, Jiang Yunqian is raising awareness of cigarette butt littering.
烟蒂里面有一个非常可怕的成分叫做醋酸纤维。那其实烟呢，它除了尼古丁，还有很多有毒的物质。
Jiang has been working to protect the environment for years and regularly participates in beach cleaning events. More recently, she's joined other volunteers cleaning an oil spill that's hit Taiwan's northeastern coast. The land pollution is also an issue she cares about. Jiang's picking up cigarette butts along the entire coast of the northeastern county of Yilan. She's doing it for the environment and her kids. She says she hopes to leave the world clean and safe for future generations. Many passerbys were touched by Jiang's activism and volunteered to help.
Jiang
says she often sees cigarette butts tossed on the streets. But this kind of littering doesn't just harm the environment. In most places in Taiwan, it's an offense you can get fined up to $120 for.
如果你没有地方丢，你应该把烟蒂熄灭后自己带一个包包袋子自己带回家。
Jiang is just halfway through her 6-day journey, and she's continuing to inspire people along the way, making it clear that smokers might want to think twice before littering and leaving the public to clean up after them. Klein Wang and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Animal shelters in Taiwan have reached their limit as the number of abandoned pets, including exotic ones, continues to rise. Reese Ayers has this report.
Slurping down its meal, this hungry little hedgehog is receiving the love and care it needs to make a full recovery, after being abandoned by its owner. It's one of the lucky ones, however, as animal rescue centres in Taiwan are reaching maximum capacity, with some even having to turn animals away.
有可能是因为兔年的关系，所以其实从年初我们才第1个月而已，我们就收容了大概60-70只了。
Rescue centres like this one in Taipei are at breaking point, as more people in Taiwan opt to raise pets instead of children, without considering the implications of owning animals.
大部分的人养宠物是冲动性购买，他把它当成商品，所以只要4个字就可以养，好可爱哦。
Capacity and impulse buying aren't the only issues. The increasing popularity of exotic pets in the country is leading to the abandonment of a wider variety of animals, including turtles, lizards, and even raccoons. These kinds of pets are typically much harder to raise and treat.
不能每一只宠物买进来就像是犬猫一样照顾，因为那是完全不同物种，需求都是不同的。饲养一个物种之前真的是得需要做好功课。
There are currently only 9 animal rescue centres in Taiwan that can cater to exotic animals. Despite there being fines for abandoning pets of any kind, experts say there aren't enough regulations when it comes to breeding and buying pets, and that Taiwan can learn from how other countries handle the issue.
像瑞士这些国家，他们都是会有很明确的规定，说你养仓鼠，你要先做好什么准备，你甚至要上课，你要取得证明说，你有那个资格才可以去做饲养。比如说，你想要养狗，他会来看你的院子的状态，看你的居家的环境状况，其实跟领养小孩很像。
Animal protection groups are taking aim at the source of the issue by proposing pet store owners and staff get qualified.
业者的责任在于必须明确的告知，而且业者进行宠物贩售销售的店员或者是店长或者经营者，他必须得有专业训练，而不是当成商品一样。
Whether it's rodents, rabbits, or raccoons, pet abandonment is an issue that spans all species. And animal rights groups hope that a combination of regulation and education can help bring some humanity back into pet ownership. Karma Xu and Reese Ayers for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for joining us here on What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we bring you this footage of plum blossoms blooming in Taiwan's southern city of Tainan. I'm Philip Brossard, take care, and we'll see you next time.
For more news from Taiwan and the world, follow TaiwanPlus on social media.